Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another video. Insecure, hella disrespectful, Rom's review. Oh man, you know what? This is the Come to Jesus, Allah, Shango, Galactus, Great Pumpkin episode, right? Because people had to face the consequences of their actions, right? You know, and of course we got the three main characters, Issa, Molly, and Lawrence. All of them going on a different arc. Now, more or less two of them had to face the consequences. One of them dropped his balls. I guess you have to figure out which one. But starting out, you know what? Issa don't want to deal with Daniel anymore, right? And you know, because, you know, he shot her in the face, you know, came in her face and whatnot. But it's interesting because it harkens back to last week's review by the master teacher BGS, when he talks about, you know, she's not a nurturing person. You know, it's all about her. And that speaks to her just being a little girl. One thing little girls don't do is take responsibility to how they contributed to something. You know, he's like, oh, I don't want to deal with Daniel anymore and all that stuff. And it's interesting because later, you know, you got a situation where Daniel is simping out with Issa and all that, you know, trying to see her, and she's like all pissed off and everything. Not thinking, it was like, hold up, you went down on him, girlfriend. You went down on him. And that's what men do, you know, when you sucking a damn dick. And, you know, but of course, you know, she ain't taking responsibility for that. And then you got Daniel, he's simping out, which is, trust me, that's a female fantasy. To have the alpha, the good boy, you know, the top dog, you know, just want the woman so badly. And I've seen that in real life. You get some women, they do some trifling ass shit, but then they want the man to be the one to apologize and realize he did wrong. I'm like, honey, you played a part in that. See, that couldn't have been me, right? First of all, you wouldn't have been yelling up in my place. See, the nice, cool, calm, drink moonshine occasionally, Uncle Rom, would have became what they used to call me when I was young coming up, right? They'd have called me Romeo. See, Romeo wouldn't have put up with that shit. That bitch would have got her ass at the minimum cursed out. I'm saying at the minimum. Shoot. You would have heard my voice. I'd been like, bitch, you stupid motherfucker, get the fuck out of my goddamn place. You don't raise your voice in my joint. I've had to do that 3, 4, 5 times in my life. Somebody getting crazy in my place. Fuck that shit. Yeah, Romeo would have came back in there. But y'all don't need Romeo doing this review. It'd be some gully ass shit. So let me get back to Uncle Rom and whatnot, right? Yeah, so that's one thing. And then, you know, she later get pissed that Lawrence blocked her on social media. I guess so. It was like, I guess that's the ultimate, in the age of social media, I guess that's the ultimate thing. It was like, damn, they blocked you. Oh, shit. Oh, damn. Oh, man, right? And then, you know, they had some other parts. You had Molly and Dro, otherwise known as Great Value, I'll be sure, chilling at the apartment and everything. You know, it's like, you know, she happy and all that stuff. And then, you know, they showed a scene with Lawrence and Apana. You know, apparently they had hung out or something, but he was reluctant to tell the rest of the folks, right? You know, he's trying to keep it on the low. I'm just like, oh, okay, go ahead, dude. That's what you're supposed to do, right? But then, check it out, right? You know, and I kind of like, you know what, I like the energy. But I'm going to get back into Lawrence and Aparna later, right? You know, and they showed a scene, a couple with Molly. One, she was hanging out with that brother from Chicago, right? You could sense a kind of a vibe with him, right? Now, it might not be, you know, of course, he wasn't no, you know, Great Value, I'll be sure or something, but, you know what, he was a solid brother, big thicker type of brother, but, you know, kind of down to earth and everything. You know, and judging from previews from next week, there might be something a little popped off, but I'm getting ahead of myself with this one, right? Now, she also met with the partners about a raise. They pretty much let her know in nice terms it wasn't happening. It's like, yeah, when your review actually come up, we'll check you out. It's like, oh, snap. Yeah, but, you know, the main thing in this episode was the dinner party, the bougie dinner party for Derek's birthday. I mean, they had all this stuff. And you know it's a bougie dinner party because, you know, more ghetto-ass birthday party. Shit, they'd been at somebody's house. Some big dude would have been on the grill. You know, Uncle Junior and them would have been on the grill or something. Had some music playing or something. But they did it all like that. And then, you know, Lawrence, he comes anyway. And he brings his new girl. Right? Well, I ain't going to say they together, but, you know, the vibe is there. He brings this woman, you know. And not only is she not black, but, you know, she's fine and everything. And it's like, you know, Lawrence was nice about it. Because Romeo, shit, he would have came in there holding his dick. Like, yeah, motherfucker, this is what I'm fucking with. Yeah, right. Let me get back to Uncle Rom. So, you know what? The party's interesting. A lot of dynamics, right? Because first, you know, Candace and Molly meet up, all right? You know, give each other that hug, but then there's an awkward moment between them, right? And you don't know, you kind of thinking, what's up with that? And then with a very telling scene, and just from being familiar with how they might set up movie scenes and like unspoken things, it was interesting because at the dinner party, you know, Molly sat on the side of Dro, right? And, you know, with Candace on the other side. But then, you know, Tiffany was like, oh no, your place setting is down here. So Molly's sitting already all the way at the end of the table, and then, you know, Candace and Dro, you know, they by themselves. I was like, And it was an interesting visual dynamic because it kind of lets you know what was up, right? And then, you know, Lawrence makes a big interest coming in with Aparna. Issa is pissed, you know. Like I said, Romeo would have brought her in holding his dick. But he says pissed. It's like, first this dude block her on social media, then gonna bring another woman, throw it in her face. And, you know, of course, it's like her. She ain't thinking, hold up. You been up here being a hoe about it. That's what happens. And then, you know, eventually she walks out and stuff, right? Lawrence walks out there, and he kind of lets her know what's up. And it's kind of interesting. She kind of threw it in his face, kind of tried to put him down about his app, talking some stuff. And that's some typical stuff. See, the whole time she was probably never really supportive. But if that app had taken off, they got some money, then she'd have been telling everybody, oh, yeah, it's because of me. Because we know how that game goes, right? And then, you know, before I get into Issa again in a minute, right? Because there was a lot with her. There was a lot I want to just bring out with her. But, you know, Molly, you know, she ended up having, you know, she was apart from the party. Her and Dro ended up having sex in the bathroom and everything. And then came the part in there where Dro, he pretty much let her know, well, maybe he might be playing her or she playing herself, something like that. Molly's playing herself. Because my man was like, all right, let me walk out the bathroom first, and then you can walk out a few minutes later. That's not an open relationship type of play. An open relationship, they'd have walked out together. You know? People might have been questioning, but Candace would have been like, oh, okay, everything cool. Nah. Nah, homie. Shoot. Dro playing her. I mean, it wasn't said, but she had to realize that. Because later she'll finally make that call to her mother, right? And, you know, mother saying, you know, she stayed with the father because she loved him. You know? Made it work out. He made her feel special. All right? And then later on, Molly finally gets home, drove, texts her, trying to get together. She's like, you know what, I can't do this anymore. I mean, you know what, like I said, I like her character, because it seemed like, yeah, she making some mistakes, like, some human mistakes, but she at least owning up to them, trying to grow, which I respect, right? But then, we'll let that go. And, of course, Lawrence is at some other bar with Aparna, and, they kiss for the first time. I like how they're carrying that relationship. I like it because it's showing it's nice and easy. This dude found somebody who kind of get him, supportive of him, but she's going to be supportive in a type of way to say, dude, this is the real deal. That's real support, because that's interesting with the nurturing piece, right? Like both Tasha and Aparna were nurturing to him, but in different ways. They were encouraging to him. That's one aspect of being nurturing, but then also going to tell him the truth about something. One piece with Issa throughout, she was just, it was all about her. She wasn't trying to say, well, dude, what can I do to help you, and all that. And that's the important piece. That's how a little girl thinks. It's me, me, me. They don't give to anybody else. And as the master teacher BGS rightfully pointed out, it was like that, that's her character. That's her character the whole time. Everything was me. Like, why these dudes, have the nerve to see somebody else? How come they ain't doing this for me? Even that thing with Daniel, she was just like me, me, me. She ain't thinking about like where she went over there. You gonna go over there, you gonna suck a man's dick and shit. He's gonna come, and he told you he was coming. You should got off of it and got out the way. You asking him to do something that only a tantrum master can do, which is control it. That's kind of unreasonable. And see, that gets into another thing with Issa. The consequences. All of a sudden, she's facing the consequences. She wanted to be a hoe, but then that's what Daniel treated her, like a hoe. He ain't treated like a girlfriend or anything, no matter what they trying to show. That's what happens to hoes. Men come on them. They hoes, if you gonna act like a hoe, shoot, the men, they gonna have other women. They gonna treat you like a hoe. They don't take a hoe seriously. They ain't gonna marry a hoe. They ain't trying to be out with a hoe. And then, she faces the consequences more when Lawrence, like, that dude's balls dropped. So he went and told her what was up, what he thought. And yeah, she tried to come back with some stuff, but it was like, whatever. And then, Aparna came out. They walking away hand in hand. So she gets, she ended up getting home, find a notice on her door about a rent increase. And then that's like, damn, all this shit, plus she got to come up with more money, which she probably doesn't have. Wow. And she had a straight up temper tantrum. Situations like that, you either have a nervous breakdown where you just fall in the middle of the floor, or you have a temper tantrum. She got to face consequences, because really, the whole chain of events started when she was looking up Daniel on his birthday. Well, her birthday, something. Man, forgot what it was so long ago. But that's what happens. That's the real life. That's what a lot of women who want to be in that little girl thing got to realize. What did your actions do to contribute to it? And I kind of like that. That's the first time that her character showed a reaction to what's going on. Because the whole thing is like, oh, my hotation, or what this guy doing for me. She gonna get mad at a guy, that guy, Nico, for actually being a gentleman and stuff, not wanting to bone her right there. They say that's a little girl thing. Not thinking about, okay, what you bringing to the table, what you doing. So she facing the consequences. So, you know what? I think we got a nice little setup for next week. We're going to see where everyone goes, right? We're going to see it. So, anyway, that's my brief review. I actually did another review earlier, but the mic started messing up. So, this is a little bit more concise. So, anyway, Uncle Rom out. And yo, man, Romeo out too. Peace.